This is the final lesson in our series on personal growth strategy. And for the last lesson, I'd like to talk about the biggest question of all. How do you live a good life? Modern society offers a very inspiring script. Study hard. Get into a good university. Land a good job. Get promoted. Earn more money. Achieve financial freedom. Gain status, influence, and power. Most people spend their entire lives pursuing this path. Some worry they're falling behind. Others work harder and harder to stay ahead. But eventually, a few people ask a dangerous question. And then what? Suppose you get everything you wanted. Suppose you finally reach the top. Then what? Will you finally become happy? And if that peaceful, free life is the destination, why not start living it now? This question reveals a fundamental problem in the success narrative. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. You win a competition. You get a better title. You move into a bigger house. You feel great. For a while. Then your new life becomes normal. The excitement fades. Soon you discover there are people with even bigger houses. Even higher titles. Even more money. And somehow you're dissatisfied again. The finish line keeps moving. So perhaps the answer is to stop competing altogether. Maybe we should reject ambition. Maybe we should simply be ourselves. Maybe a quiet life is enough. This idea has become increasingly popular. Instead of chasing greatness, choose simplicity. Instead of striving, just relax. But I don't think that's the answer. The reason you shouldn't simply lie flat isn't because success is mandatory. It's because a truly meaningful life requires something larger than yourself. A higher life always contains a sense of purpose. A mission. A reason to exist beyond comfort. Purpose gives you identity. Purpose helps you make difficult decisions. Purpose gives meaning to sacrifice. Research even suggests that purpose is associated with longer and healthier lives. But purpose alone can sound heavy. Almost tragic. As if meaning requires endless sacrifice and no joy. And that's where today's idea comes in. A concept developed by German sociologist Hartmut Rosa. He calls it resonance. And resonance may be the missing ingredient that makes purpose joyful. Rosa argues that modern life is obsessed with control. We want everything to be available, accessible, manageable. Food delivery makes restaurants available. Maps make cities accessible. Artificial intelligence makes knowledge manageable. These are amazing achievements. But they come with a hidden cost. The more we treat the world as a resource, the less we experience it as a relationship. We become users, consumers, managers, controllers, but not participants. And when the world stops responding to us, we become alienated. Alienation isn't the absence of activity. It's the absence of meaningful response. Imagine having 10 terabytes of movies stored in the cloud. Thousands of hours of entertainment. But none of those movies know you exist. The collection grows. Yet so does loneliness. Or imagine a married couple sitting in a beautiful restaurant. Both staring at their phones. Neither speaking. The problem isn't a lack of content. The problem is a lack of connection. A lack of resonance. So what exactly is resonance? At its simplest, resonance occurs when independent beings respond to one another. You act. The world answers. And something meaningful emerges. Think about a live rock concert. Thousands of people singing together. The band plays. The audience responds. Energy flows back and forth. For a few moments, you forget your mortgage. You forget your inbox. You forget your performance reviews. You become part of something larger. And somehow that feels deeply alive. That's resonance. But resonance is not the same thing as approval. It's not the same thing as getting likes on social media. It's not even the same thing as being obeyed. Imagine you're learning drums. You practice alone with a metronome every day. Your timing improves. But it feels empty. Now imagine a machine that simply repeats every beat you play. Would that feel meaningful? Not really. That's just an echo. Resonance is different. Imagine joining a small jazz band. The pianist changes the rhythm. The bassist improvises. The singer alters the melody. Now you must respond. And they respond to you. Together, you're creating something neither side could create alone. You finish the night exhausted but energized. Because the music wasn't something you controlled. It was something you entered into. Rosa identifies 3 major forms of resonance. The first is horizontal resonance. This happens between people. A truly great conversation changes both participants. You don't simply exchange information. You create something new together. The second is diagonal resonance. This occurs between people and their work. A carpenter feels the grain of the wood. A scientist feels the resistance of a difficult problem. A skilled accountant can almost sense the pulse of a business through numbers. The material responds. The work speaks back. The third is vertical resonance. This occurs between individuals and something larger than themselves. Nature, truth, history, God, the universe. It's the feeling of standing beneath a mountain range, or discovering a profound scientific insight. It's awe. From Rosa's perspective, the good life isn't about possessing more resources. It's about creating more resonance. And this reveals something important. The opposite of resonance isn't failure. The opposite of resonance is comparison. Comparison asks, who's ahead? Who's richer? Who's more successful? Who's winning? Resonance asks, who am I connected to? What am I learning from? What am I contributing to? Comparison focuses on volume. Resonance focuses on frequency. Comparison creates envy. Resonance creates meaning. Comparison often turns life into a zero-sum game. Resonance transforms it into a collaborative one. This is why purpose and resonance belong together. Purpose tells you where you're going. Resonance reminds you that you're not going there alone. A mission without resonance creates loneliness. You become a heroic individual struggling against the world. Resonance without purpose creates excitement without direction. A fun atmosphere, but no lasting significance. The highest form of life combines both. A shared mission, a shared journey, a sense that we are creating something together. Not merely striving, but performing in an orchestra. So how do we cultivate resonance? Rosa suggests 4 conditions. First, you must allow yourself to be touched. Modern people often protect themselves with irony, skepticism, and emotional distance. But if nothing can move you, nothing can resonate with you. Second, you must respond. Feeling inspired isn't enough. You have to act. You hear the music, and you pick up an instrument. Third, you must allow transformation. A resonant experience changes you. A great book should alter your perspective. A meaningful conversation should reshape your understanding. The old version of you should not survive unchanged. Fourth, and perhaps most importantly, resonance cannot be fully controlled. You cannot buy it. You cannot schedule it. You cannot force it. You can purchase the finest piano, hire the best teacher, practice for years, and still fail to experience that magical moment when music feels alive. Because resonance requires something independent from yourself. It requires otherness, resistance, a genuine response, not an obedient echo. This may be Rosa's most profound insight. The world must retain its own voice. Your child must be allowed to disagree with you. Your partner must remain unpredictable. The market must sometimes prove you wrong. Reality must be free to answer back. Because only an uncontrollable response is real. Perhaps that's why purpose alone isn't enough. A mission tells you what you're trying to do. But resonance is what makes the journey worth taking. Purpose provides direction. Resonance provides energy. Purpose says, this matters. Resonance says, and you're not alone. At the end of life, people rarely wish they had accumulated more resources. More titles. More possessions. More control. What they remember are moments of connection. Moments when something answered back. Moments when they felt part of something larger. The modern world teaches us that happiness comes from controlling more of reality. But perhaps the truth is the opposite. Perhaps happiness comes from entering into a conversation with reality. From contributing something, receiving something, and allowing yourself to be changed in return. Because in the end, the most meaningful life is not the one that controls the world. It's the one that resonates with it. That's it for today's content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.